/JOY. Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. I want to tell you about the good folks at Aldic Home. In business for more than 60 years, Aldic is Southern California's premier Christmas and holiday shopping destination, but that's because Aldic is the unrivaled master of life-like silk flowers, decorative trees, and all those one-of-a-kind accessories and finishing touches for your home. But did you also know that Aldic Home carries the finest custom outdoor furniture, more than 20 different lines and settings of summer classics? How good is summer classics? Come see for yourself. Aldic doesn't even want you to buy it. Just come down to Aldic and experience it. Take it for a test drive or a sit. Hang out. Bring the fam, and then go anywhere else and compare that experience. Aldic knows you'll be back for the highest grade of teak, aluminum, and woven resin furniture anywhere. You'll find Aldic on Sepulveda Boulevard in Van Nuys and on the web at aldichome.com. That's ALDIK home.com.
When Natalie was diagnosed with cancer, she took control of her health. When Natalie wanted to help other people with cancer, she became a doctor. When Natalie wanted to make quality care affordable, she became a researcher. When Natalie's patients needed innovative treatments, she found them. Conquer Cancer supports researchers like Dr. Natalie McKenzie, so we can conquer every cancer for every patient, everywhere. Cancer research saves lives. Learn more at conquer.org. That's conquer.org.
Do you want out of your house for whatever reason? Maybe you're moving or downsizing, there are financial issues, maybe you inherited it.
Selling a home usually means hours of painting and cleaning and staging. But what if you could sell your home for a fair price without any of that hassle? The buyer never had to walk through your home. You could sell it without an appraisal, no commissions, no fees.
What if you could get paid in cash and get it done fast, like in 10 days or less? This is exactly what directbuyers.com will do.
Directbuyers.com is a local family-owned business. They've been around since the mid-'80s. We've talked with the owners, Janet and Matt. Wonderful people. They care about their clients.
You don't want to go to a national call center. These are the people we trust. Do not sell your home until you talk to directbuyers.com. See what they can offer you. They will give you an honest, no-obligation offer. They can even get you $15,000 cash advance before closing to help with your move.
They're not going to lowball you. Go to directbuyers.com. Directbuyers.com. 844-242-SELL. That's 844-242-SELL. Directbuyers.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Do you need a new appliance? Well, you have a problem. Serious COVID supply chain delays and price increases. Some brands have gone up over 20%, and you could be waiting 8 months or more for delivery. That's the problem. Here is the solution. WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. WDC saw this all coming. They secured $25 million of inventory before the recent price jumps and before the supply line shut down. So right now, with high prices and long delays everywhere else, WDC has exactly what you need. Plus, free delivery for purchases over $5.99. And here's what we want to hear. Next day delivery to LA, Ventura, and Santa Barbara counties. And you can check inventory in real time right on the WDC website. In times like these, you need more than just an appliance store. You need the experts that I have trusted for years. WDC. To find the WDC nearest you, go to WDCappliances.com, WDCappliances.com.
Hey, it's Amy King, and I know how much you love KFI. Wherever there's a radio, you have us on. But what happens when there isn't a radio around? It's why we created the free iHeartRadio app. If you have a phone and the iHeartRadio app, you have KFI and thousands of other radio stations from cities across the globe, along with podcasts that are full of great stuff, like the Stuff You Should Know podcast, stuff Mom never told you, stuff they didn't want you to know, and stuff to blow your mind, and thousands of other podcasts. Download the free iHeartRadio app and discover music, radio, and stuff you'll love.
There's a lot of things that I was like, as a kid that I really love now. Weird things like minced meats, double ham. Now I want that on a cracker.
The Fork Report with Neil Saavedra this afternoon at 2 on KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
Here, grab your mic. I'm just asking you if what Janet is telling us is true.
Maybe for her.
Okay.
Because she's singing about it.
It's not true for you? You don't want to lead a glamorous life?
Oh. How about that show?
Oh my God, I touched a nerve. Oh no. All right. KFI, Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer at your service. We are talking about finding your style. It's a tricky subject. Also, in just a few moments, we're going to go back to the phones. So let me give you the number. The lines are open yet again. 833-2-ASK-DEAN. 833, the numeral 2, ASK-DEAN. You can call me about anything. I'm talking finding style today, but we can talk about leaky toilets. We can talk about design questions, construction issues, whatever. Anything having to do with your home, give me a call. Let me see if I can help you out. Okay. As promised, I'm going to put the pressure on those who have a tendency to say, yeah, you know, style, whatever. See it as superfluous, see it as a thing that is sort of frivolous. Okay? Do I take offense? No, I don't take offense. I'm quite secure in my profession of choice and my knowledge of why we do what we do as designers and why style is important. By the way, am I a fashionista? No, I'm not. I'm not one of those. And I think there is a level of kind of pop fashion and pop style that is a little, you know, offensive because it's just simply, it is superficial and superfluous. That's not the kind of style I'm talking about. When I say the word style, by the way, you know what the root of it is? For me, style is just a shortened version of lifestyle. That's what we're really trying to get to when we're designing a custom home. We are trying to understand the flow of someone's life. We're trying to understand lifestyle, and how does lifestyle, your lifestyle, how does that symbolically translate into the shapes and structures and colors and textures and experiences architecturally of the place where you live? How does your home adequately and accurately reflect and assist you in your lifestyle? That, for me, is the conversation of style. For those of you who tend to kind of poo-poo it, okay? And I'll share this again. Last time, I promise. We shape our buildings, and thereafter they shape us. One of my favorite architectural quotes from a non-architect, Winston Churchill, said that. We shape our buildings, and thereafter they shape us. I don't know exactly what he was processing through at the time when he said that, but he was absolutely right. And the science of human nature and psychology backs it up. Color. Let's just talk about the psychology of color for a moment. Color is the main component of how we experience the world around us. They have a definitive effect on moods, emotions. There's a little debate regarding exactly the implication of certain shades, but researchers, designers, we all agree on the basic tenets. Things like red. Red is a color of power, passion, right? Likely evolutionarily, okay? Anger, right. It's just, that kind of energy. Why? Probably because evolutionary, and this is universal, it's probably because of blood. In fact, we're all pretty well convinced it's blood. Red is the color of our blood. When people get angry, when they exert themselves, our skins are flushed, right, with blood, and so on. So red takes on that quality for us. You know, we even say things like, "Oh, I got so angry I was seeing red," right? It's passion, it's power, it's arousal, it's exertion, it's all of those things. And there's no separating that. If you're a human being, there's no separating the color red from having that meaning to you and the way that it affects your mood. On the other end of the spectrum, sort of, not color spectrum, but yellow. Yellow is the color of sunlight. Again, evolutionarily. Golden yellow sunlight. Life, warmth. That's why yellow is the universal color of happiness and creation. That's why we own a yellow Jeep. Happiness. That's all it comes down to. Oh my gosh, look at the time. All right, we're going to go a little bit more into this, and then when we come back also, we're going to go to the phones. Your home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Your call's up next. Let's hear the news. I'm Brian Bruman, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Orange County is pushing free community emergency response team classes because of the recent mass shooting and wildfire. Ready OC spokesman Nico Melendez says the pandemic has slowed down enrollment, but the classes are critical.
The ultimate goal is to have a CERT-trained individual in every neighborhood or on every block. So the more people that we can get trained, the more people that are out there that are going to be able to help their own communities.
He says the 8 3.5-hour sessions teach fire suppression, first aid, triage skills, search and rescue, as well as several disaster simulations. People can sign up at readyoc.com. The parents of LA Mayor Eric Garcetti have hired lobbyists to help push their son's confirmation as U.S. ambassador to India. Suki and Gil Garcetti have retained the firm of McGuire Woods to do outreach to senators who are going to vote on Garcetti's nomination. The confirmation hearing had stalled after allegations surfaced that Garcetti knew about the inappropriate behavior of his top aide, Rick Jacobs, allegations that Garcetti denies. Russia has brought more resources to bear in its assault on Ukraine's Donbas region. Ukrainian President Zelensky says that bombardments by Russia have turned the country's industrial east into a hell. He said the Donbas region has been completely destroyed and that Russia is attempting to kill as many Ukrainians as possible.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Well, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is reopening at Disneyland. The ride was closed in March for the renovation. The theme park's website says it's scheduled to reopen June 30th. The ride first opened in 1973 and was updated in 2006 to include characters from the film series. Johnny Depp, who's in a defamation trial with his ex-wife and actress Amber Heard, starred in that franchise as Captain Jack Sparrow. He even got nominated for an Oscar for it. Now taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got an accident on the 110 North.
That's right, in South LA, the 110 northbound at Century Boulevard. There's a crash taking up the express lanes right now, but that's still causing stop-and-go traffic back to Imperial Highway. Then in Laguna Hills, we have a work zone to keep an eye on the 5 southbound. From El Toro Road to Alicia Parkway, the 2 right lanes are going to be taken up until 8. And then in Pacoima, on the 118 eastbound at the 210, another work zone that is taking off the transition to the 210 west until 8. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Viz Call.
Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. Are you looking to sell your home in 2022? Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. For most of us, it's the biggest deal of all. So let's make sure you get everything out of it that you can. Before you get ready to list, make sure you call the good folks at Revive. Revive's business is to maximize your home's sale value. How? By guiding you through market-critical upgrades before you sell. It's like flipping your own home, except Revive fronts the cost and guarantees the results. Yeah, you heard me right. No money out of pocket and a higher selling price guaranteed.
No.
You can list higher and sell faster in just a few short weeks. In fact, the average homeowner sees $160,000 in additional profit. This is a no-brainer. Revive has created an easy, stress-free way to maximize your greatest asset, your home. So are you thinking about selling? Well, you can settle or you can see what's possible. To get started, visit iloverevive.com. That's iloverevive.com.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and some patchy drizzle this morning, then sunny by the afternoon. Mid-60s at the beaches, upper 60s to low 70s in Metro LA and OC, upper 60s to mid-70s in the inland valleys, and low to upper 70s in the IE. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Bruman.
Every 3 seconds, there's a new victim of identity theft. A criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, even selling your personal information on the dark web. Everyday activities like online shopping, banking, even data breaches may expose your information, making it dangerously easy to have your identity stolen. Unfortunately, watching your accounts or monitoring your credit, that may not be enough. But protecting your identity, that can be easy with LifeLock, a leader in identity theft protection. LifeLock monitors threats to your identity, and if an issue is detected, it sends you an alert. And if you're a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist works to fix it. No one can prevent all ID theft or monitor every transaction at every business, but LifeLock by Norton makes it easy. Call 800-LifeLock, promo code HANDLE, or visit lifelock.com, promo code HANDLE for 25% off. lifelock.com, promo code HANDLE, 800-LifeLock.
Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. You know, when you hear me say that there are only two kinds of solar companies, Sunlux and everyone else, I am not kidding around. Neither is Tesla. Yeah, the solar giant who, for the first time, has opened their entire ecosystem to only a handful of trusted companies. And guess who Tesla selected for Southern California? Exactly, Sunlux. Sunlux and Tesla. Tesla panels, Tesla low-profile mounting system, and the world's single most sought-after solar component, the Tesla Powerwall battery. Anybody can order them for you, but Sunlux can actually get them for you. It all amounts to the most advanced solar in the industry, and it's all now waiting for you at Sunlux. You know what? There really are only two kinds of solar companies in Southern California. Sunlux and everyone else. Get the whole Tesla solar ecosystem, including Powerwall batteries, at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
When interest rates rise, credit card debt gets more expensive. Make sure you're doing what you can to pay it off faster, especially during these times. You can learn more in as little as 10 minutes when you call American Financing, America's home for home loans, where the process starts with a free mortgage review. No pressure, no obligation, no upfront or hidden fees. Just a simple conversation around the benefits of a cash-out refinance. So you can learn about custom options that can help you secure a lower rate, spend less on interest, and pay your balance off faster. It could mean savings up to $1,000 a month, and even more long-term. So why not learn more? If you like what you hear, you could skip 2 payments and may close in as fast as 10 days when you call American Financing, 800-906-2440. That's 800-906-2440. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Superwoman, super lawyer, superwoman,
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
More stimulating talk.
The glamour boys, yeah, they are divas. The glamour boys have it all under control. Always dancing, always laughing. The glamour boys are playing the role. Glamour boys never have the most.
KFI,
The glamour boys.
AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Your home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. We're talking finding your style. It's a tough subject. Maybe one that I shouldn't have taken up, but I'm trying. It's time to go to the phones, as promised. Phil, welcome home.
Got a 1980 ranch style 2,000 square foot home that we're looking to redo inside. I'm looking at that plank flooring that you discussed a few weeks ago, and we're trying to decide on colors for both our floor and all our paint. We see gray everything out there. I really like it, but we kind of want to go toward what's coming out, and gray seems to have been around for quite a while now, and we don't want to build something that's kind of obsolete in a year or two. What would you recommend as far as interior paint and the flooring colors?
That is a massive question, Phil. I hope you know that. And it's a question that varies according to, the topic we're talking about today, your style and what that means. But I will tell you this. I think at the heart of what you're asking is, what do we do with the largest surfaces? And here is where I might surprise you. In fact, I regularly surprise people when I say this, because everybody expects a designer to throw all sorts of craziness up on the walls and the ceilings and go wild and bold, and that's one of those fears. So I'm going to tell you this. As a general rule, if you were to twist my arm behind my back and say, Dean, sight unseen, tell me the color of my house. Well, this is what I'm going to say. White. I want you to paint your walls white. A warm white, not beige, not cream, not eggy, okay? Just a warm white. Warm meaning slightly towards the warm side of the spectrum as opposed to the cool side. I don't want a blue white in there. And I'll tell you why. A couple of reasons, at least. Number one, every house, all houses, need more light inside. And white is the most reflective color that we can paint on the walls. And as a result, white recycles light. That's a term I like to use, recycling light, because what light gets into a room, a white wall and a white ceiling bounces it around, reflects it off its surface, and we get to reuse that light for as long as possible before it escapes the room. It brightens everything up. Number two, white provides a background for all of the really great stuff. And I just, what I mean by that is, think about any and every museum you've ever walked into. What are the colors on the wall? Well, by and large, white. And there's a very good reason. Because it shows off the art. It shows off the stuff that we really want to be looking at. I am a big believer in intensity in contrast. And so, especially if you're putting wood plank flooring through the house, and honestly, I'm not going to tell you what intensity of floor to put, because if we're beachy and we're like light and mapley, or if we're dark, I mean, and brooding like a deep walnut floor, or anything in between, it's all good. It works with the style. But I love the idea of the darker the floor, the lighter the walls should be, so that they really pop and complement each other in richness of contrast. And when it comes to ceilings, we don't paint a ceiling another color, especially if we have lower ceilings. Now, if you've got a 17, 18, 20-foot high ceiling, then, fiddle around with a more brooding color up on the ceiling, because it's going to be a darker ceiling or an off-color ceiling in a normal height house, 8-foot, 9-foot ceilings. By throwing that color option darker on the ceiling, what we're doing is we're drawing attention to it, and the ceiling kind of comes down on us. It kind of sits down on us. We don't want that. We want the ceiling to go away. The lower the ceiling, the more we want it to sort of not be an issue. So I would bring white up the walls and white right onto the ceiling. And then when it comes to trims, baseboards, floors, that's when we get into other things. And it's not to say that we can't have feature walls or even an entire room with bold paint color or wallpaper. But where we start, a blank canvas, start with white. Decorator's white, that's one of our premier colors that we use at Benjamin Moore. Swiss coffee, those kinds of just slightly on the warm side, pleasant whites, but white nonetheless. There you go. That's the starting point. And everything goes with white, by the way. So, because white is technically not a color. Not scientifically. White is all colors of the entire spectrum blended together all at once. And we get white light. So everything goes with white. And so it's a fine starting point, and white will never go out of style. Well, sometimes white cabinets will go out, but white walls in a house and ceiling will never, ever, ever go out of style. Because it's science! All right, Phil, thanks for the question. When we come back, some closing thoughts for you, just for today, though, on the subject of finding your style, your home. With Dean Self, the House Whisperer. Let's hear the news.
I'm Brian Bruman, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Russia says it has removed the last Ukrainian soldiers from a steel plant in Mariupol that's been under siege for 3 months. Pallets of baby formula flown in from Europe to help with the national shortage will arrive in the U.S. this weekend, and the head of the U.S. Forest Service is